Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be making red or bean stew, normally had with gari and cocoa, but it can also be had with boiled yam, boiled plantain, or even rice. So stay tuned and I'm gonna take you through step by step on how to make this delicious, high protein packed dish. Come on, this is Hi Daddy. Okay guys, so these are the ingredients today. So the main thing is the beans. These are black-eyed beans. Now the best way to have it is I soaked it overnight and just cooked it this morning. So they're nice and soft, so as you can see here. Yeah, so when you squeeze it, I hope you can see it. Yeah, it's nice and soft like that. Okay, so they were soaked overnight and just cooked this morning. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then over here I've got some onions. I've got 3 of them. I've got some chili, Scotch bonnet chilies. Now you don't have to use this many, but I just generally like spicy food. Got some fresh tomatoes here, some chopped tin tomatoes, and of course some palm oil. Oh, and the seasoning that I'll be using are these crayfish seasonings. Okay, I'll be using 3 of them. You can use Maggi cube or whatever seasonings you like. But because I'm going to be throwing in some fish in the end, I tend to go with the fish seasoning, which is this crayfish one here. Okay, so that's all the ingredients we're using today. So let's get started. Okay guys, so first thing first is I've poured in some of the palm oil. Okay, now keep the heat on low because this oil tends to cook real quick. And then in goes the onions. So keep the heat on a medium to low heat because this oil tends to burn real quick, and what you don't want to do is to burn the oil. Okay, you just want to cook these onions down so they get really soft. Okay, so that's the first stage of this recipe. It's just cook the onions down on a low heat, keep stirring them every 3 minutes or 2 minutes. Just keep an eye on it basically. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it here and I'm gonna come back when the onions are cooked, and then we'll add in the next stage. Okay, about 5 minutes on a low to medium heat, regularly giving it a stir. So now the onions are just about cooked, so at this point you will now add in your crayfish Maggi cubes. Okay, now just remember to always keep the heat on low, because the problem with this palm oil is that if you keep it on a high heat, it tends to cook real quick, and when it cooks and it burns, it gets bitter. Okay, so when it gets bitter, then obviously your stew will not taste like how it's supposed to. Okay, so once the cubes are in, let's give it a nice stir, let it cook for another 3 minutes. Okay, so I'll pause it right here and we carry on with the next stage. Peace. Okay guys, so the next stage is we're going to pour in the fresh tomatoes and the chili, which I've just blended. So it's just the 3 tomatoes and the chilies here in a blender, just blended. Okay, so then that will go in now. Okay, so now because it's fresh chilies and fresh tomatoes, you just need this to cook down a little bit. So this will cook down for about another 5 minutes. Okay, just keep an eye on it. Again, because of the palm oil, you have to keep an eye on it and keep it on a low heat so it doesn't burn out. Okay, so now we're just waiting for the tomatoes, the fresh tomatoes, as well as this fresh chilies, the Scotch bonnets, which are in there to cook through. And then we'll be adding in the chopped tin tomatoes. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it here and I'm gonna come back in about 5 to 6 minutes when it's cooked through. Okay, let's. Okay guys, so it's been cooking for about 5 minutes now on a low to medium heat. So the next stage now is to pour in the tin tomatoes, the chopped tin tomatoes. Now you don't really have to use this chopped tomatoes if you don't want to. You could have just poured in the cooked beans straight into it, but the chopped tomatoes I realize gives it a lovely color and it gives it lovely texture as well. Okay, and plus obviously it's adding more to the stew, so it will last longer if you don't want to spend too much time in the kitchen coming back to cook again. Okay, so again we'll leave this to cook for another 5 minutes. Okay, this is all in stages, so another 5 minutes or maybe four minutes, and then we'll be adding in to this the beans. Okay, and then we're almost there. Okay guys, so it's been cooking for about 5 minutes now. As you can see, you see the red layer of dark oil, so that means pretty much everything that's in there is cooked. And this is the stage where you would then add your beans. Okay, so obviously the beans are already cooked, so again keep the heat low. At this stage you can add whatever fish you want to add to it. I'm going to be adding some fried mackerel, some fresh fried mackerel inside. You can use sardines from the tin, that would work. You can use dry fish. Yeah, the traditional way would have been using dry fish, but obviously dry salted fish contains a lot of salt anyway, plus the Maggi cube that I've already put in there. If I didn't use the Maggi cubes, then I could have used the salted fish to just give it that seasoning that it needs. But I sacrificed the Kobe, which is salted fish, for the Maggi cubes that I used right at the beginning, which gives the stew a better taste. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to fry some fresh mackerel, then I'm going to put it in just in the last minute and let it cook for another 4 to 5 minutes, just so all the juices of the fish and the stew can blend nicely. Okay, so the stew is pretty much done. At this stage you can eat it straight away, and it's ideal for the vegans. So obviously everything here is pretty much other than the seasoning, which you didn't have to put in if you didn't want to, you just cooked it anyway. Just like this would be ideal for vegetarians and vegans and all of that. You know, all of you people out there that don't like to eat meat and all that kind of stuff. So this is something that's good for you, and it's packed, it's protein packed. Like if you have this with yam, maybe half an hour before you go to the gym, trust me, this is what I used when I used to be really into the gym. This was my pre-gym African style. And this stuff, when the protein kicks in, combined with the yams and the carbs, boom, you're lifting mad weight. So anyway, I'm gonna come back in 5 minutes when I'm adding in the mackerel, the fried fish, and then that's it really. Bless. Okay guys, so this is pretty much the final stage. So all I'm going to be adding in, I've just fried some fresh mackerel that I'm just going to be putting in. So the stew is pretty much done. So all you have to do at this stage, the fried mackerel, like I said earlier on, is optional. You could have used salted fish or sardines from the tin. Okay, so I just prefer mackerel because one, it's good for you. It's a lovely oily fish, tastes great, and it's cheap. Can't get any better than that. So just be careful with this fish because it breaks easily, and just stir it in nice and gentle. Okay, and just let this again cook. It's already cooked, you know, but just so that the flavors can combine nicely, the fish flavor as well as the flavors from everything else that's inside our stew here, blend nicely. So another 4 minutes really, and then it is done. You can eat it straight away at this stage, to be honest. Okay, so that's how you make red bean stew, ideally served with fried plantain or boiled yam, boiled rice, boiled plantain, whatever. It's protein packed. It will boost your energy. You will feel it half an hour once you finish eating it. You will feel it. It tastes amazing, and it's good for you. You can't go wrong. So this is red. So I'm gonna pause it here and I'm gonna come back and I'll show you how it's served with the gari and the plantain. Peace. Come on. Okay guys, so this is it. Just served up. I've just fried some plantain and I made some curry. And this is red. Come on, just look at that. This will fill you, my guys, okay? You can probably just have this once a day and you're good. So try it out. Let me know how it goes in the description box below. This is red.